Hey guys, Rich here with Brotherhood Reviews, and we're back talking about One Piece Chapter 1062, Adventures in the Land of Science. And as always, we start off with the cover page, the cover story, and it is Chocolate Town covered in ice. You know, only one person can do something like that. So you know the Blackbeard pirates are finally there. So whoever, those Blackbeard to whole cake people, it's finally happening. This cover story is not over yet. Alright, now we get to the juicy stuff. The Straw Hat crew is still talking to Vegapunk. The perverts are geeking out. Frankie is geeking out, but that's because he's a nerd. And Frankie just explains that he was there. He was at Vegapunk's hometown, and he studied everything Vegapunk pretty much was doing at his hometown, but he didn't have enough time to finish. So now he kind of wants to pick Vegapunk's brain a little bit. Now we get Robin pretty much saying, like, I've never heard of Vegapunk being a girl. And Vegapunk actually is like, this is not the main Stella body, but you're looking at Vegapunk number 2, Lilith. So we know, we know there's more, yeah. And Nami's like, what type of rescue is this? It's cold. Like, what are you doing? And like, I keep trying to tell you, this is not a rescue. Now, maybe if you hand over all your loot, you guys might be able to escape safely. And pops up out of the water all these sea monsters that have all these contraptions, and they're like cybernetic, obviously, but I think they're mixed. I think they're both half cybernetic and half machine. I mean, and half actual sea king. So because she calls him weaponized sea beast, and Frankie's wild, and he's like, oh my god, this is so cool. And Zoro's like, okay, I'll cut all these down. I'm not worried about no sea kings, especially with some metal on him. I cut metal. He got that face. I cut metal. But anyways, Lilith is pretty much getting talked to in her ear, saying like, what are you doing? Don't, like, why are you always robbing somebody? Like, stop robbing people, pretty much. And Lilith is like, like, I got them. Like, they're surrounded. Don't worry about it. And the person in her ear is like, yo, you know who that is? That's the Straw Hat crew. They just became their leader, their captain just became an emperor. Like, don't take them lightly. Like, you're not even paying attention. The person over the mic says, like, look at how calm Zoro is. Look at how calm the Devil Child Robin is. You think that they are afraid of what's going to happen, and you think they're going to go without a fight? You're crazy. And Zoro, with him being the second and all that, he's like, hey Vegapunk, there's something I need to ask you. Better play nice, got it? Gangster. He's so gangster. And the person, we figure out that it is Dr. Vegapunk 1, Shaka, and it says logic above it. And no matter, bring them here. I have interest in that crew. Like, mind blown. That's what she said. Mind blown that Vegapunk even is even interested in them. I've said it in my last review, but I had high hopes for this moment. But now we cut back to Luffy, Jinbei, Bonnie, and Chopper. They're in that little cavern, but they're find a way to get to the surface, and pretty much they start talking to Bonnie, and Bonnie tells them that Vegapunk is the one who turned Kuma into a cyborg, and Kuma is Bonnie's father. So we need she wants to act revenge if Kuma can't be turned back. So there's that. Now they get to the top, and it's this futuristic type land, and you just see these giant buildings, futuristic buildings with these giant they call them space monsters, and Luffy wants to like see one up close, so he rockets straight into the space giants, the space monster's mouth, and the monster closes its mouth as if it ate him, but Luffy shoots straight out the back, and lands on the floor. They ask him if he's okay, and he was like, yeah, I thought I got ate, but I just kept going. And so they keep walking, and they see this big pile of ice cream, parfait, and cookies. So they all jump on it, and Jinbei's like, that has to be a trap. So they jump on it, they all fall on the ground, and they realize it is a hologram. Now, then they obviously deduce that the monsters are holograms, and there must be a lot more holograms around this city. So these giant robots start pulling up to them, and this really iron this big giant robot that says like Punk 6 or something on it. Luffy tries to punch it because he thinks it's a hologram, and it turns out to be a Vegapunk. It knocks him into this big machine that makes food, and as them being gluttons, they indulge themselves, and Vegapunk pretty much says like, at least you guys appreciate my work, and that that means a lot to Vegapunk. And the more and more Vegapunk thinks about it, Vegapunk realizes like, oh, if I had more money and funding, we'd be able to put these up everywhere. They would be able to make more than 500 different foods with scraps. Literally, with whatever it has on hand, it can make almost whatever you want. 500 dishes is a lot. I'm pretty sure most people can't make 100 dishes. You know what I mean? Like on an average basis, like 100 different dishes. I don't think a lot of people could do that. So and he pretty much, this version of Vegapunk tells us that, oh yeah, like if I had more, if people could follow my blueprints, and then he hits the hologram. They're like, whoa, why they're amazed, like, how can you hit a hologram? And Vegapunk pretty much says like, it's my gloves, they help me hit things that are bent to light. And then they start wondering like, are you real? And he's like, that's up to you. I'm not gonna sit here and try and go back and forth with you guys on what's real and what's not. So as they're eating everything, Vegapunk obviously tells, like, Jinbei asks like, who are you? I am Dr. Vegapunk Atlas Wrath, and it has a number 6, but we're about to find out that Atlas's number is 5. But anyways, now we get onto the world government ship where Lelouch is on there, and we get the long-nosed dude that turns into the giraffe, and he pretty much says Vegapunk is technically still a single individual, but he split himself up into 6 they call satellites, and so he could get more work done. And they use the analogy as like busy as a beaver, and they took that analogy as if, what if there was more than one beaver? You know what I mean? And it's crazy. So the long-nosed dude that turns into the giraffe, I can't believe I keep forgetting his name. I was just saying it earlier too, but anyways, they're all 6 satellites, so we'll go over all of them. Vegapunk 1, Logic, Shaka, who we heard already. Vegapunk 2, Evil, Lilith, who we met already. Punk 3, Flare, Edison. Punk 4, Wisdom, Pythagoras. Punk 5, Wrath, Atlas. Punk 6, Desire, Yoke. And obviously Atlas's dress said 6, but here it's listed as 5, so they will obviously adjust it in the scans, but as of right now, this is what it stands. This is how the lineup looks. And you know, obviously Atlas is a god. Pythagoras is the guy who invented the Pythagorean theorem, a very good mathematician. Literally, we still use his math today. Edison, everybody knows who Edison is. Lilith is a god of death. And Shaka, I don't know much about that, Oreo, but pretty much named all of his other hymns after gods or men of science. And you know, they also Lelouch explains why they're going there and says that they have to return the Kuma ciphering that they have and pretty much annihilate Vegapunk. They have to annihilate Vegapunk, and you know, it's crazy because Lelouch says like, why are we eliminating the most useful man in the world? Like, and they said it might have to do something with the Lucian island that just recently got destroyed. And you know, the two people he's with are like, yo, just leave it alone. Like, we don't need to get into any more trouble, like any trouble at all, actually. But so, you know, I can't wait to see what happens when he sees Luffy, because Luffy's gonna put the paws on him again. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a good day, time, night, whenever you guys are listening to this. Thank you.